Hi, my name is Sandy Robson. Welcome to my channel. This is the Heart Awakening Revolution. A decree for divine feminine 5D abundance, money and wealth. This decree will communicate directly with your superconscious mind, your wise inner being, supporting your conscious intent for abundance and wealth. Please listen in a quiet place where you will not be disturbed. I call upon my superconscious to connect to the divine feminine of unconditional love. I declare this is my new decree for a life of abundance, success, wealth, financial ease, opportunity and flow. That is my birthright. I call upon Spirit, my higher self, my superconscious, my I am presence, guides and angels, to be present and fully support my intent to transition into the new paradigm of 5D abundance and wealth consciousness as a high vibrational, open-hearted being of light that fully recognizes my sovereignty and divinity. Superconscious, I would like to connect with you now as I make this powerful, binding and lasting decree, all for my highest and best interest. I declare my sovereignty and absolute power as a feminine being, and therefore ask that all old, archaic, patriarchal, disempowering abundance beliefs be cleared from my entire being, subconscious, unconscious, chakra system, body and fields. Please bring resolution to beliefs in scarcity, limitation, unworthiness, inferiority, deprivation, and inequality. I revoke all patriarchal systems in which my programmed DNA encoded status is defined and expressed in the form of under-earning, underachieving, undervaluing, glass ceilings, elitism, and hierarchical power and maldominance, undermining my dignity, abilities, and innate power. I revoke all scarcity and poverty consciousness programs created by my patriarchal core wounds that still influence my life by hooking me into low vibrational emotions of shame, anger, fear, hopelessness, and sadness. I call back all the energy that was lost and stolen along my path to anyone or any difficult experience to be returned to me now, purified in the light of unconditional love. I revoke the mindset, perception, and belief that I was wounded, that there is now something wrong with me and I am damaged, and it is permanent. I decree this belief is now null and void as I fully and unreservedly adopt the mindset that I am a sovereign being with the absolute divine power to create a life of joy, abundance, blessings aligned with heart-centered consciousness. I revoke all the energy that I unknowingly offered to collude with a system that overtly and covertly schemed to keep me from recognizing my sovereignty and my worthiness to receive abundance in all areas of my life. I decree absolute power and autonomy over my life. I revoke all beliefs and programs that the 3D patriarchal system still has power over me in the form of control, exploitation, dominance, and oppression. I recognize the oppressive structure of these programs and decree that I am released from all contracts and all past lives that bind me to them. I revoke all 3D patriarchal contracts in this life and past lives that elicit dissociation from my authentic feminine power in the form of defensive, rigid mindsets, negative beliefs, and toxic, low vibrational emotions. I understand that part of my contract is to live the opposite of my authentic power, to finally recognize and fully embody the truth of my sovereignty and worthiness. I revoke all ancestral programs in my DNA of fear and terror that resulted from hundreds of years of persecution, humiliation, and disempowerment from the church and all other elite patriarchal institutions and organizations. I revoke all programming and dispositions within the beliefs I am not enough, I am inferior, I am powerless, and I don't deserve abundance, and I am unlucky with money. I revoke all the energy and denial it took for me to unknowingly collude and acquiesce with a system that from birth overtly and covertly sought to render me powerless verbally, physically, emotionally, and financially. I revoke all patterns, programs, and false perceptions in my DNA passed down through the feminine collective that I am in any way responsible for any form of abuse and cruelty resulting from toxic masculinity that hooked me into feelings of unworthiness, hopelessness, and inferiority. I revoke all programs, beliefs, and structures that declare work must be joyless, boring, tedious, demeaning, and that earning money is hard. I decree that I am now allowing life to support my purpose and calling, as I open my heart to blessings without limit and trust this is for my highest and best interest. I revoke all beliefs in my conscious, subconscious, and DNA that state the 3D patriarchal financial system has power and control over me, and that I have no choice but to accept and make do with what I'm given. I revoke all my ancestral, disempowering poverty consciousness stories that cook me into patterns of scarcity, lack, limitation, dependency, and poverty. I revoke all religious programming and beliefs in my DNA and cells that was passed down through my ancestral bloodline and within the entire feminine collective, that I am unequal and inferior to men. I revoke all programming and false perceptions that women are unequal to men in their earning potential, wealth creation, and business acumen. I revoke all programming within the belief it's a man's world, and all the hidden components and elements that this belief embodies, creating countless limitations within a patriarchal structure that diminishes my power, authority, and sovereignty. I revoke all programming in my DNA that has been imprinted through my female lineage and feminine collective consciousness that normalizes the devastation of persecution, degradation, poverty, scarcity, and disempowerment. I revoke all programming and predispositions within the beliefs I am not enough, I am inferior, I am a second-class citizen, I am incapable of financial independence, and any other false victim consciousness beliefs of a similar vibration. I revoke all old patriarchal contracts that elicit dissociation from my authentic feminine power and sovereignty in the form of defensive mindsets, negative beliefs, and toxic emotions. I no longer allow myself to collude with lies created by an ancient system of inequality and discrimination. I revoke all toxic family patterns, programs, and conditioning that creates scarcity, poverty consciousness, and limitation in my reality. I no longer tell stories of how hard it was and how difficult and unjust life has been. That old narrative has now ended, and a new one now begins that creates a narrative of my power, potential, and capabilities. Therefore, I retract all hereditary, poverty consciousness agreements, vows, bonds, and contracts that elicit failure, lack, hardship, struggle, and scarcity on this present familial timeline from conception and across all ancestral timelines. I revoke all the energy that I offered consciously and subconsciously to actively keep the lie of my disempowerment and diminishment alive in my innocence and not realizing the oppressiveness and unfairness of the system that created it. I revoke all the years of anger and frustration I felt at the elusiveness of my financial ease and flow that I now openly declare is my birthright. I revoke all the hardships I endured to earn money, doing jobs I disliked that left me feeling uninspired, disheartened, exhausted, and unhappy. I decree that I am open and receptive to earning money using my talents, skills, and abilities, aligning me energetically with joy, expansion, and financial ease and flow. I revoke all the times I compromise my integrity, self-worth, and self-respect for the sake of money, success, and advancement. I revoke all the times I experience envy, jealousy, and resentment towards people, known and unknown, purely because they are wealthy, abundant, and successful. I now openly declare that viewpoint wields no power over me, and recognize this as a low vibrational energetic state that opposes my wealth attraction. I revoke the fear, worry, and anxiety I felt around the scarceness of money, and now choose to shift my mindset into a positive polarity, as I decree that I am open and receptive channel to money, wealth, abundance, and limitless blessings. I decree that I am a divine miracle of creation, and attracting miracles into my life becomes as natural to me as breathing. I revoke all my three-dimensional money contracts that keeps me stuck in restrictive patterns of financial victimization, entrapment, and enslavement to an archaic paradigm that exists for the benefit of a select few. I decree that my full, authentic, feminine empowerment is now fully alive and ignited within a 5D paradigm of my absolute potential and expansion, and that by the very virtue of my awakened state of being now aligns me perfectly with a paradigm of unlimited blessings, wealth, and financial ease. Clearing karma. I call upon Spirit and humbly request that karmic debts that contractually require poverty, scarcity, dependency, lack, and limitation are paid and resolved within a paradigm of service and contribution to humanity, animals, and Gaia, and no longer are repaid within the patriarchal system of feminine oppression. SuperConscious. As the old patriarchal structure disintegrates, payment of karmic debts would be better assisted in contribution and acts of kindness, as opposed to adding more negative energy to a broken system that actively seeks to destroy our planet and humanity. Many karmic debts require painful experiences, depending on the severity of past deeds. This creates balance and offers appropriate compensation, but can keep the old patriarchal system active. SuperConscious. I humbly request that karmic debts are negotiated with Spirit to fast-track karma, so I am not perpetually stuck in a self-defeating negative cycle that requires years of poverty and suffering. I call upon the unconditional love of the divine feminine to invoke self-compassion and self-forgiveness for my self-defeating choices made as a direct consequence of patriarchal core wounding, arising from abuse, control, dominance, coercion, manipulation, violence, and persecution. I call on my guides and spirit for support as I forgive myself for any self-defeating choices made in innocence and unawareness that cause the lowest toxic emotion of shame. I decree that all shame-based, toxic imprints and discordant, dense energies be cleared from my DNA and cells now, allowing me to embody more light for an energetic upgrade that is right for me at this time. This clearing process now facilitates the start of a new cycle of positive experiences and the innate ability to make empowered choices from self-awareness and self-love. I decree that my creative life force is now becoming fully actualized within the 5D paradigm of my absolute potential, expansion, and creativity. I call upon the unconditional love of the Divine Feminine Mother to clear all toxic patriarchal wounding from my DNA, chakra system, feminine center, body systems, brain systems, and fields. I call back and reclaim all the energy that was lost and stolen in this lifetime to anyone and any traumatic experience to be returned to me now, purified in the light of unconditional love. I decree that a new positive paradigm begins for me now that embodies my creative life force and that is now becoming fully actualized within the 5D paradigm of my absolute potential and expansion, completely free and unhindered by the old patriarchal system. I call upon the unconditional love of the Divine Feminine Mother to clear and treat all low vibrational interferences and energies that seek to keep those obsolete patriarchal programs and beliefs active. I am dedicated in my intent to grow without the need to have opposing conflicts and obstructions to my spiritual light and authentic feminine power. I ask the Divine Mother to continually upgrade my energy as I enter a new paradigm of heart-centered empowerment for my evolution and for the collective evolution of the feminine collective and all those who seek a new earth. I decree that all toxic, low vibrational, disempowering, patriarchal energies no longer hold any power or control over my existence. All density in all forms is now transformed by the alchemy of divine unconditional love. By the power of my sovereignty and mastery, I declare that I am an alchemist and openly embrace my divine feminine healing power to alchemize all dense, dark, patriarchal components and elements from my mind, body, and soul. I am the creator, I am truth. I am one with the divine feminine. and I am one with Spirit. I am in full command of my authority and sovereignty as a masterful creator, and decisively choose a path of positivity, truth, and love. I recognize that as I purposefully choose the light will choose me, and this dynamic will add powerful momentum for the collective light of humanity to expand and evolve into heart-centered consciousness. Superconscious, the energetic essence of this decree, can now be evoked and reinforced upon command with the affirmation, I decree, I am the embodiment of wealth consciousness. And so it is. Superconscious, this decree is absolute. In deepest gratitude.